Makatso, yesterday, in the run-up to this court decision, there was talk by the unions that the protest action would go ahead despite what the court had to say. What are unions saying now?
Michelle, that was unofficial, from the corridors, union members saying that. But after COSATU and SASBO had a caucus here, they've decided that the protest action for tomorrow will be suspended for now. The intention, Michelle, is to, appeal the judgment today. We understand that they'll be filing papers today, at the same time resubmitting documents to NETLEC. Michelle, if you don't mind, I've got a guest, the General Secretary of SASBO, Mr. Joko, to give us more information. So thank you very much for your time again. Just let us know what is it that you will be resubmitting to NETLEC?
Look, to NETLEC we are going to resubmit Section 77B, which speaks about the process and the procedure, how to go about making sure that you get your documents in NETLEC.
Is this the correct section that you should be, engaging with? Because we understand from Busa that instead of Section 77, you should be looking at Section 89, 189, and rather be going to CCMA instead of NETLEC.
Look, there's a mix-up here because of this dilemma that we're faced with. This is not a bank-specific section where you'll only be dealing with one bank, because of in our phase, Absa is Absa, Standard Bank is Standard Bank. They're not a collective. They're only a collective when they become to be a Busa or Busa. So we are now going to serve this to NETLEC, taking all of them as a Busa or Absa under the Section 77.
This must be a blow to your plans. I mean, this is the months in planning to go on this protest action. What does this mean for your workers, and are you able to communicate to them soon enough that the planned action for tomorrow is suspended?
Look, we've started already to send messages around to talk to the leaders in the provinces to say that the judgment was not in our favor. And all we are going to do as a federation that it's respectful to the law, and a union that is respectful for the law, we have to go back to the drawing board, and we are definitely sure that our members, they will also listen to the voices from their leaders, that we now suspend the action for tomorrow. So it's not cancelled, it's just suspended, because it can be that come the 7th of October, we might find ourselves back into the streets if really we are going to get this agent appeal that we're going to submit today before we leave here, as well as the NETLEC papers that we're going to serve before the end of business today.
So do you know what's going to inform that appeal? Because, from what the judges said, that you haven't complied with this. Busa's argument was that you can't use an old certificate from 2017 and use it every time you want to protest. You have to start the process afresh.
That is the problem that we are facing as the union. But now, for us to make this thing to be urgent, we believe that since now we've received the document of the court order, and then that is going to help us also to look through it and see what is it that is in the document, and we will appeal on the judgment rather than to look deep into the substantive issue. So the substantive issues will come as we go, and we think that might help us because we want this thing to be an urgent appeal.
So thank you very much for your time. As you heard, Michelle, SASBO and COSATU will be filing that appeal this afternoon. I must say that all we had this morning was the order, so we don't know the reasons behind the order, for the reason that the judgment that we heard today. Hopefully we'll get that information as soon as possible. The judges say that she will provide reasons as soon as possible. I suspect that will inform then the appeal going forward, Michelle.
Yeah, absolutely it will. And you'll keep us up to date once we have those reasons on paper. Thanks very much for that. That's my colleague Makatso tracking the banking sector strike for us, which has now been halted.